Ms. Murray. Okay, Ms. Murray is not here. Okay, the next item on the agenda is, student representative.
Hello? Hello?
Turn it on.
Oh. Hello, I'm Haley Beeler. I'm a senior here, and I play basketball, track, and cross country. I've been the commander of the ROTC program here for the past 4 years. I also do Beta Club and FCA. When I graduate, I'm going to join the Naval Academy in hopes to become a Marine Corps officer. Some recent things that's happened at the school is Winter Court, and we raised 47,824 points for non-perishable items to give away. Our teacher of the month was Miss Sexton. Our student of the month was a senior, David Nicely. And we had a winter formal that raised $3,000 for the travel club. Our spring sports are just starting up. Track, softball, baseball, and tennis, they've all had their first games and meets. We had a senior wrestler, Serena Helton, who made it to state. And we have an upcoming talent show. We also just had an ACT for the juniors yesterday. And ROTC is hosting a field meet next month, and we are also having prom next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Galen. The next item on the agenda is special recognition, Miss Lauren and Mr. Powers.
All right, thank you for having us, and I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Powers speak right now, if that's okay.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
And thank you all for inviting me, and I'll be glad to do a Q&A if you all want to do that at any time. So, but one the main reasons I'm here is we did a House Joint Resolution for Kaylee Beeler. So could I have her come up, please? I should have asked her to stay up here while my bad. Okay. Good to meet you. We were informed that Kaylee is going to go join the United States Naval Academy, and we're very proud of her. And so we did a resolution in her honor at the House of Representatives. And the resolution is to recognize Kaylee Beeler upon her appointment to the United States Naval Academy. Where it is fitting, we should honor those Tennesseans who've proven dedication to excellence is a great pride for the state. And where one such individual is Kaylee Beeler, who recently received an appointment to the United States Naval Academy, a true honor and a great beginning to her career of service. Whereas established in 1845, Annapolis, Maryland, the Naval Academy is the second oldest of 5 U.S. service academies. Whereas a senior at Union County High School, where she is a 4-year member, commanding officer of the Navy ROTC program, Kaylee Beeler holds a 4.0 grade point average. That's what I had when I went to school. No, I'm sorry, I had a 3.0. And will graduate 3rd in her class. Whereas a faithful member of the Alder Springs Church, Ms. Beeler has participated in a number of extracurricular activities during her high school career, including Beta Club, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, basketball, softball, golf, cross country, and track. Whereas Kaylee Beeler is an exemplary young lady whose work ethic, integrity, and ability to serve will embark her well upon her next chapter. Whereas Ms. Beeler is one of the Tennessee's most noteworthy young people, it is most fitting that she be recognized on this milestone occasion. Now therefore be it resolved by the Tennessee House of Representatives of the 114th General Assembly of the state of Tennessee that we recognize Kaylee Beeler upon her appointment to United States Naval Academy, extending our best wishes for her ever future endeavor. Kaylee, we are proud of you, and thank you for your service that you are going to be providing our country, and we couldn't be more proud of you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Kaylee Kaylee, if you'll come back here, I also have something else. On behalf of Union County Schools, we also have what's called the Lead the Way Award. This is the first award we've ever given out for a Lead the Way award. This award is for Kaylee Beeler. It's Be the Light that Leads and the Inspiration that Leads Others to Excellence. Congratulations on your acceptance to the United States Naval Academy. Your hard work and dedication throughout your entire educational career has paid off. We are not just proud of you, but we are so proud of you. Thank you for all your accomplishments. And if I could just get all of Kaylee's family, I know y'all did not plan on this, but if you all would just all please come up here. All of Kaylee's family that is here with her. I know we embarrassed you, we're going to embarrass them, right? Papa, come on. This is a proud moment for you too. You all have worked hard to get here. It takes a village to get somebody here to be where she's at, and I have no doubt that all these people have helped her to get to where she is. So just a round of applause for Kaylee Beeler and her family. All right, thank you all. And now we have lots of wonderful awards, and I'm super excited to be able to give all of these out. Many awards for our teachers that have worked so extremely hard throughout last school year. We have many awards tonight. The first we're going to start with are teachers who actually scored last year on the TCAPs. They had a cumulative score above the state average. So that's the state of Tennessee average for their grade level in their subject area, and they far exceeded that state average. So we're going to celebrate them. I know we had some that were able to come tonight, but I'm hopeful that we have some in attendance. Derek Tharp from Big Ridge for 4th grade English. Okay. We also have Derek Tharp for 5th grade English. Renita Malone, 4th grade science, and Renita Malone for 5th grade science. And just stay down here so we can get all kinds of pictures. Okay. I'll leave you there. From the middle school, Pearson Toole, 7th grade English. Horse Maynard, Heather Wallace, 8th grade English. Maynardville Elementary, Laura Whitaker, 5th grade English. Also Maynardville Elementary, Pam Monroe, 5th grade science. From Paulette Elementary, Nicole Hickle, 3rd grade English. From Paulette, Samantha Atkins, 4th grade English. From Paulette, Destiny Weaver, 3rd grade math. From Paulette, Courtney Collins, 3rd grade science. From Sharps Chapel Elementary, Jamie Rhodes, 3rd grade science. And Jamie Rhodes, 4th grade science. From Sharps Chapel, April Lefevers, 4th grade English. Union County High School, Leslie Middleton, Algebra 2. Hannah Richardson, English 1. Andrea Williams, English 1. Hannah Dockery, English 2. Christy Dean, U.S. History. Jamie Akins, U.S. History. Y'all just stay up here. All right, next we have teachers that had a TBOS of a level 4, which is amazing to have a TBOS of a level 4. Laura Walston. Thank you. Horse Manor Middle School at level 4, Rob Luther. HMS Jacqueline Leonard. Horse Manor Middle School, Andrea Kaiser. Horse Manor Middle School, Donna Eagle. Horse Manor Middle School, Rebecca Hickman. HMS Marina Lacey. MES Laura Whitaker. Union County High School, Christy Dean. Union County High School, Hannah Richardson. Also from the high school, Jamie Akins. Union County High School at level 4, Bethany Newman. Union County High School, Austin Lay. These are teachers with a level 5 TBOS. Derek Tharp from Big Ridge Elementary. Laura Harrison from Horse Manor Middle School. Jonathan Goforth, Horse Manor Middle School. Anthony Malone, Horse Manor Middle School. Kirsten Toole, Horse Manor Middle School. Pam Monroe, Manorville Elementary. Samantha Atkins, Paulette. Savannah Rutherford, Paulette. Leslie Middleton, Union County High School. Donna Campbell, Union County High School. Chase Cox, Union County High School. And this is fun. This is one of our administrators this year, but last year she was a teacher and a great one, as you can see. Haley Brantley from Union County High School, now Fort Sumner Middle School, level 5. Hannah Dockery, Union County High School. Christy Williams, Union County High School. Ashton Goforth, Union County High School. And Austin Lay, Union County High School. All right, if we could just give them all a big hand. They have worked extremely hard last year to get to where they are, and I'm sure I will be giving them all the same awards around this time next year. So they're amazing teachers. I feel like I'm constantly giving all of them awards, so.
Before they take off, I just want to say thank you personally to you guys. I've had the privilege of being in a lot of your all's classrooms, especially some of the older ones over here when I was a middle school principal, like Miss LaPeters. Well, I'm glad to see her now. She knew I would come around. But thank you guys for what you do for the kids every day. It means a lot to me personally. So keep it up and just look at what we would have had if it all been here.
Oh, right.
They've been on both sides of the stage, so good things going on in Union County. Thank you.
And you all can have a seat. We have 2 more small awards to give out, and then we're going to take a couple of pictures at the steps. So if you'll just hang out with me for just a couple minutes, we'll go out and take some pictures. All right, we have a couple more awards to give out. These awards go to 2 ladies who have been with us for quite some time and have really just been, they just do what they love, right? They have to do it because, goodness gracious, why are you still working here after all these years if you don't love it? So if we could have Miss Wanda Keck and my mom, Mama Manus, Miss Sarah Manus, come up here, please. All right, Miss Wanda Keck, thank you for your many years of service and dedication to the students and faculty of Union County Schools. 42 years down and many more to go. By doing what you would love, you inspire and awaken the hearts of others. We're so thankful for you. All right, and to my mom, 47 years down, and I hope many more to go. If I can do half of what she has done for these 47 years, I will be doing something right.
Oh, no.
This lady is gold in my eyes, and I think that she is the best person to have walked the earth. So I'm so incredibly thankful for her and thankful that she is my mom. So 47 years down, and I hope many more. I love you, Mom. All right, and that concludes my awards tonight. But thank you for letting me do these awards for these teachers. They definitely deserve it.
Wanda, Sarah, we are glad that you all chose this school system, and we're proud of it.
When's public comment? Oh, okay.
Do I have
Yeah, you
time?
have time. Yeah. You're not really.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is, skill service presentation.
I invited these gentlemen to come and present. We were looking at some options at possible renovations at the old middle school once we move to the new middle school. So they've got a lot of ideas they're going to share with you. Everyone should have a booklet that they're going to go over. And I'll let them take it away.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm Rob Smith from Skilled Services, and this is Trevor Mitchell. He's Director of Sales and shareholder as well. Several months ago, Director Clay asked us to look over Horace Maynard Middle School and come up with some concepts in relation to making improvements and renovations to it after the move. And so we've worked and came up with several ideas, came up with a set of comprehensive drawings for it. And we started working through a list of different ideas, and we've had several meetings with Director Clay and Mike Johnson and came up with some of the prominent things that we felt that would make the most improvements. Several years ago, we looked at a county-wide lighting retrofit for energy savings. And we ended up incorporating that into this proposal. The state of Tennessee is very favorable for building envelope improvements coupled with lighting savings and paid for by lighting savings. And so that's what brought us to the concept. But as far as the Horace Maynard Middle School, we looked at removing and replacing all the exterior doors and windows with aluminum storefront, like we did in 4 of the other schools in the system 3 years ago. And we looked at replacing all of the ceiling, the grid and tiles, and the diffusers. And of course, it'd be new lights in the ceiling, and painting the interior of the school. And all those things we felt would make the biggest impact. We talked of and priced out several other options, which we can get a list of those if needed. But to stay within the budget parameters, we felt that that would make the biggest impact for the initial stint of the project. And included in that, we included the lighting retrofit at the other 7 facilities. And that includes replacing all the sports lighting at the football field, the baseball field, and the softball field at Union County High School, as well as the sports lights at the multi-purpose field across from Horace Maynard. With that, you'll end up with over $100,000 in energy savings per year, and that's compounding. And we do have several finance schemes available, but at this point, we just included it as a payout program and didn't include any finance in the contract, which, of course, if you're able to pay it out, it saves quite a bit on interest. So, but the total project that we looked at is $2,700 and $2.7 million. And that would qualify you for a $125,000 rebate from TVA. And it would also bring an energy savings of $101,000 per year. We felt like this would do improvements countywide, and it would be a tremendous start for the improvements at Horace Maynard. Be glad, Mr. Clay, if you had any other points in regards to it.
Well, when we met, this week actually, before, he came tonight, I had him to go back and just look at, one of the proposals he had was just doing the lighting countywide and then upgrading, I think it was HVAC and windows and doors at Horace Maynard, which was less than the one that's in this package. Then there was one that does everything. I mean, the whole school, basically a retrofit, put in a vestibule, which would bring us up to code on those things. And I think it was a neighborhood just a little bit over 4 million or
Just under 4.
right around $4 million if you did all of that. So there's various options you could look at. And I know that we've talked about this a little bit, or you could do nothing other than clean it up and get it ready to go. Because we can, like I've told you guys before, we can move into the 8th grade hallway next year if we have to. But I know the windows have never been touched in that school. So that was one of the things that I want to make sure that we got some pricing on, because that's going to be a huge energy savings if you do go with the windows and doors. So that's why he's kind of in the middle of the road when he brought to you guys tonight. But I know they're willing to break it out any way we would want to do it. It's just, I want to get some numbers in front of y'all so you could know this is kind of what we're looking at if we do decide to go forward with something that moves. And like he said before, they've done a lot of work for us in the past. I know Dr. Carter dealt with these guys in the past. They've done a lot of other school systems in the area, similar projects. So there's all kinds of references for these guys. So if you guys have any questions for them, just feel free.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a lot of questions, but I was wondering, when you say paint as needed, who determines that's needed?
Sorry. No, it included painting the entire interior of the structure
Okay,
and all of the door frames. It didn't include refinishing the doors. We had that in a separate proposal, but the actual door frames and then all the paint on the interior of the building.
okay. Was there any painting included on the exterior?
Exterior, yeah, and that was on the separate contract as well. Yeah,
Okay.
the coping and the sloped roofs at the, some of the entrances. Yeah, that was not included in this proposal, but it was in the other one.
Okay, I know there's a lot of exterior paint.
Yeah, and we actually have a set of plans that corresponds with this proposal that we would provide with the contract, so that there was a complete clear scope of everything marked out with square footages and so on and so forth.
And then are we, the school system, will be using the lighting down on the football field and baseball field?
The school system herself, no, I don't. I was under the impression that the youth leagues would take over, not take over, but they would have access to those fields as we move to the new place. But they included in there if we wanted to upgrade those lights as well. That's something you could remove.
And then I know this is a lot, but this is as they're presenting. I was thinking it maybe have been some time since a lot of people have been in that school, that maybe we could just do a walkthrough. And so people, the board could just get a visual of what all these things actually look like.
And the biggest reason I wanted to look at the ceilings is, of course, when I was principal there, we had a collapse. And we had a collapse recently since I've been director. So I know those are some of the things that needs to be addressed, because that's, I guess, I don't know when those drop ceilings put in, probably 40 years ago or something.
It's crazy because I had a ceiling collapse while I was director over there, one of the rooms across from the library.
Yeah, it was one of those rooms that collapsed when I was there too, maybe. No, I don't think so. But
So that was just the things that crossed my mind.
this has nothing to do with like the upstairs part and the vocational section or the basement. This is strictly the main level, because that's the only place that I would ever envision ever using for children again.
And so what are your thoughts of use for that area?
Well, one of the easiest things to do, if you could take over Crowley Office, Maynard Elementary, would be move 4th and 5th grade over there. And that would open up a lot of space. About 200 kids could move over. You could expand. And that would just be used mainly the eighth, what I consider the eighth grade hallway, the old senior hallway, which is the newest and best part of the building. So that's one way to take pressure off Minerville. Then you could look at zoning and you could actually make Minerville Elementary itself bigger. You could take some pressure off Paulette and Luttrell. Also, but there's some zoning things to do there to move some kids back to Minerville.
Do all these improvements include the auditoriums?
Not this one, I don't think.
The painting of the auditorium, but not anything else. The other proposal included redoing the auditorium.
Okay,
Yeah, the other one, the bigger proposal had totally going in and redoing the auditorium too.
okay.
I've got copies of that. I'll forward those to you so you guys can see the other part of the scope that was in those. But I'm just trying to get something in front of you all. It's something we can discuss at the retreat more going forward. So we just have an idea of in the future. I just want to get some ideas of what we could do.
And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm saying.
No, that's good. It's really good.
Has this gone out to bid, or did we just ask for proposals from different vendors?
I just asked for proposals right now. It's not going out to bid. And these guys, I'll let them talk about it since they're a professional service. Some of this, you wouldn't have to go to bid. Some of the work.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea for incorporating the energy side of it. There's about 3 different benefits to that, but Tennessee state law, I think it's at the back of your proposal, but it shows it references the state law there, Tennessee Code 12-4-110, on how energy contracts can be awarded. And if the goal of the project, as it says there in the law, if the goal of the project is reducing energy, then the project can be awarded on the same fashion as professional services. So something like this wouldn't have to go out to bid. It's awarded based on best value. So Director Clay can go out and get quotes from whoever he wants, but as long as that's the goal of the project, you can award a project under that Tennessee code, which gives him a lot more flexibility. And then there's a couple different benefits with that. I mean, obviously the energy savings helps pay back against the project. So, the total project cost there is 2.7 million. Then you get the TVA rebate, and then the energy savings, those compound over the years. So over 10 years or so, or whatever that adds up to, it actually pays back for the total value of the project long-term. So there's that benefit of making it an energy-focused project. And then not only that, it touches all the other schools as opposed to just Horace Maynard.
So would we have to do 2 projects when it comes to painting? The painting of the building wouldn't necessarily come under energy, so I don't know how that factored. So would we have to do do it as 2 separate projects, or kind of fold it all under professional? I guess that's a Missy question. Missy has to weigh in on all this.
Engineering and architecture could be considered professional service, so anything else would not fall under that criteria. So I'm not really sure that, I didn't realize this was gonna happen tonight, sorry.
No, you're good. I think on it there, it says it can be awarded on the same fashion as professional services. So it's more just referencing how you can award it. It doesn't necessarily, it's kind of confusing to explain. It just means contracts that are an energy type project can be awarded in the same fashion as a professional services contract. It doesn't necessarily have to be professional services to qualify as.
I would need to talk to CTAS regarding this to make sure.
Yeah, that's fine. And we actually are in touch quite a bit with the comptroller's office, and we can get any of that information that you need for sure. We support in that way as well. All of the pricing that we use in our proposals is on tips, through a tips contract. And so it all is bid out in a certain sense. It's all based on RS Means pricing, and that's the program we use. You have to use a certified program to produce the.
And we recognize tips, don't we?
Yes, we do.
I would like this too. Before going forward with anything, I would want to go to the school, as Dr. Carter just suggested, and have several different workshops looking at proposals, looking at exactly what is on this list, and looking at what we need to do and trying to be as efficient as possible. And so I would just ask that we would have several workshops where we actually go to the school, maybe one workshop where we're going to the school with with the companies that we're considering. And then also I want to ask too, if, I know Johnson Controls replaced a lot of lighting for us, so I'm,
Most of what they did is out of date. It's basically obsolete now, because everything's moved to LED, away from the fluorescent stuff.
Yeah, that's correct. So typically, they were either 40 or 32 watt light bulbs, and they put in 28 watt, 4-foot fluorescent strips, or 4-foot fluorescent tubes. And the new LED tubes are 9.5 watts. So you have a substantial savings, even a lot more than it used to be, from 32 to 28. So now it's 28 to 9.5. And so the savings is certified and documented, and it is there to pay off these projects. We work closely with EESI for that's a funding arm of the state of Tennessee, and they will certify all the projects if needed, as well as TVA, third-party engineering. So, yeah.
This is a very in the weeds question. So that project is still paying for itself.
yes.
So when we make improvements on their project, does it reduce, it would reduce our cost, but it also reduce, I guess, the plan that we had before, so it would possibly set them to where they would never, ever have to compensate us if we weren't underneath the threshold. Do you understand what I'm saying, Missy?
I do, and anything that we do will definitely lower our savings, but I still think that we will have to pay.
We'd be moving ahead, but these schools that went through Johnson Control, basically we're what, in our 15th year?
Yes, I believe so.
No, we're only in like, year 10, we still got,
Oh, okay.
we still got 5 to go.
Okay, so, I mean, savings is savings, I'm not saying that, but I didn't know how that factored into that.
Well, this year is the first year that Johnson Control has not written us a check.
Yeah,
Because, and I know they have like a summer they were gonna do, but they never have got back with us. They've had a lot of turnover and change. But one of the things, the biggest savings that Johnson Control was able to show is we went to all those smart readers from KUB. It wasn't anything Johnson Control did. They went to those smart meters on the schools, and that started showing savings. Because we saved like $50,000 or something when we went to those meters.
yeah,
And was that part of the Johnson?
No, that was, KUB came to us and, hey, we need to upgrade these. So, but again, though, it helped Johnson Control get out of
right.
having to pay us, I don't know, was it about 15 to 20,000 a year or something they were paying us because they were not meeting their standard, whatever it was. But I'm with you, I'm saving on some of this stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't know how that would factor into what we were currently, because we pay that county so much money.
It's about 230,000.
Annually, and we would still be required to.
Yeah, we're still
pay
paying that off.
Right, but that was supposed to be from,
Any savings
The
we
savings.
get from them, that would just be money put in
Right.
our fund balance. But yes,
Okay,
the
I'm
bonds would
sorry.
still have to continue being paid.
that was really in the weeds.
No, that's good. That's
That's
good.
fine.
And the way we proposed this project here, was simply just a payout. It was not a finance, energy savings scheme, but you
Right.
would realize the $100,000 savings to the system each year.
Yeah, when he brought the proposal to me, he added the finance rate, I said, I'd rather take cash.
Yeah. There was a day we didn't have that option.
One question I do have is, you was talking about the old middle school, about doing some of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Does this compensate for any like hazardous material or asbestos or
Yes,
any of that removal?
yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay, I'll just say to the board, I feel like we have to be very, very careful on this. I don't mean to say this when you're here, but you said anything else, I don't want to lose my opportunity to say something. I think we have to be very careful with some of these upgrades. I think the Johnson Control upgrades were very dubious. We are still paying on them. At one point I had notes and I can't find them. I recently looked for them, adding up what we paid and how many checks we get, the reports we get. I have tried to figure those reports out, and I've asked other people. I think I think this board, we have to be very careful with some of these savings promises. And I'm sorry to say that in all here, but I appreciate the idea of doing the ceiling, getting the kids in the building, making it safe. But I am very disappointed to hear that Johnson Controls is out of date and that we are still paying on that. That is Union County's only debt other than the schools. And I think that's very concerning, so.
Well, it's just because it was financed. I think it was a bond issue or something.
And it was before our time, it was before, but I just, so the lighting issue, and I don't mean to
Well,
say that
and-
while y'all are here, I appreciate
No,
the
it's fine.
building improvements, absolutely. I just want to make sure I do not lose this opportunity to say that to this board.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. It does, I mean, as a vendor, you're sitting here wanting the project, but a lot of schools have that exact same concern. And I will say one thing that's a little bit different about where we go with it is we have, there's 2 independent checks of our savings, which I don't believe Johnson Controls would have had. So TVA, which is obviously a government agency, and then EESI, the state of Tennessee, their own engineers typically that's 2 levels of like third-party review. And that would be as a part of the proposal too, the guarantees. That is one area where it's a little bit different. It's not just us as a vendor saying, hey, we'll promise you the world and not deliver. So that is one area that's a little bit different, but I fully agree with what you're saying.
Thank you, and I didn't mean to.
No, you're
Sometimes
fine.
as a board
No, that's
member, I've
fine.
learned
It's
to
good
say
to-
what you're gonna say, or you
Yeah.
never get another opportunity.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Yeah, but I appreciate the building things. We absolutely need to make improvements if we're gonna put kids in there, absolutely. So I appreciate that. And I
Yes.
would be happy to go and look at all these at the school and try to determine what was needed as a board.
And we're happy to provide any information you need on that. So we've done a very thorough research project on it, so we have the information.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
One other question I did have, in this total contract amount, is that incorporating like any change orders, or is that just a set amount to do the whole project?
It's a set amount to do the whole project, yes.
Yes, sir.
And we just, we try to be extremely thorough on the front end, and we just don't have many change orders.
Yes, sir.
And you will see that when we show you the comprehensive drawings. We have a 15-page set of drawings drawn up and detail every spec and scope, so.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. Can you arrange a tour of the middle school when it's convenient, when we don't have children there?
So June? Maybe. Yeah, we'll get something set up. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate
Thank you.
all the work.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Next item on the agenda is State Representative Dennis Powers, and I appreciate your coming tonight, Mr. Powers.
Thank you. And first of all, let me say thank you, and thank you all for what you do. I know you're all hard, a true public servant, and I know it's a lot of times it could be a headache, but a blessing too. But thank you all for what you do. I really appreciate it. And I just drove here from Nashville. I got stuck in traffic for 2 hours, so it took me about 7 hours to get here. But barely made it on time, but didn't get to go home and change, so I apologize for that. But thank you all for letting me come out tonight. And I just want to come out, and I would love to come, at least once a year and just kind of update you on what we're doing at the state. See if you have any questions, anything that I can answer. We're putting $230 million more in K through 12 education. Over the past 10 years, we've doubled the amount that we've put in K through 12. We went from 3.7 billion to 7.5 billion last year, and now we're putting 230 million more in. So we believe in education in the state of Tennessee. We know, and then we've got so many great things going on here in Union County with. We've got the grant for the TCAD in Walter State, and of course the middle school, and then the virtual schools. I wanted to update you on that. We I talked with several people about it, about the virtual schools, and I'm trying to get a 3-year extension. They were going to end this year, but we're trying to work it out. We've got an amendment file to keep it going for 3 more years and let us evaluate from that point on and look at those 3-year period and look at the progress during that time. I know that in the past, they've looked at 3 years, and even the bill that they had went back a year or two and looking at prior years. So what we're trying to do is get them to look from this point forward. And I think that's what's going to happen. And we put in 3 years, and hopefully when they go to conference, that'll be what they come up with. So that's what we have proposed for the virtual schools. And I know we want to keep it going here. I carried the bill originally, so I know that it's good for Union County, and so many people need it across the state of Tennessee. So honored to get to do that. We'll keep pushing for more money for dual enrollment and the middle school, middle college, I should say. I've been involved in that from the very beginning. My wife was the director of Rome State Community College, so she kept in my ear all the time talking about, getting more money for colleges, and the other ear she would tell me not to raise her taxes. But we have worked on that too, because I know that we just want to tell everybody that high school is not the end, that they need to get some kind of training, either at a TCAT or a community college or a 4-year university, but it should not be the end of their education. And so we're going to keep trying to promote that and trying to make it free. We did that with Tennessee Promise, and we're going to try to keep that going for as long as we can, because we know that that's what companies are looking for. When they're moving into an area, they're looking for a well-trained workforce ready to go to work on day one. So we're going to keep pushing for that to make sure that we have that available and hopefully get more industry in. If we ever get the road completed up here, that'll help too. That's been a 15-year project. And I found out one time when I went to a meeting at TDOT that the average is 14 years. And I said, why is it 14 years? They said, well, it's environmental, then moving utilities and buying up land. And then sometimes they don't want to sell land, and they have to go to eminent domain, and then they have to go to court. And then they run into things with the contractors issue with that, or they run into rocks or whatever that they weren't anticipating. So it always takes a lot longer than it should. And we've actually got a bill up to make them TDOT complete every project in an 8-year period. We think 8 years is enough to do it. And we need to get a lot of the projects done that we've got already started across the state of Tennessee. And Highway 33 is one of them. We're glad to get the 4-lane in, and it's supposed to be done by the end of this year, but you know how that works. It may be the end of next year. No, it should be the end of this year, hopefully, but that has moved from time to time, and it's a moving target. I guess anything else, I'll be glad to take some questions and hopefully have the answers for you. And if not, I'll be glad to get them and come back and talk to you about them later.
Mr. Powers, are you familiar with Bill 2310?
We have about, I think, like 2,500 bills, so you might have to tell me a little bit more about it, and I will be familiar with it, though.
I have it here on my report
Sure.
for the board.
Yeah, just for
It
brief.
prohibits LEAs and public charter schools that serve students in any grades kindergarten through 5, from allowing them to access digital devices at school, from allowing employees to use digital devices to provide instruction, and from administering assessments to students in an electronic format, except in certain circumstances. It passed the Senate, I believe, meeting last night. And it also is going to be heard in the Education Committee on 3/24. The sponsor is Michelle Renaud.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what.
I know her. Okay, yeah, that gives me a better idea. We have so many, I'm sorry, the numbers, it's hard for me to keep up. I have 13 that I'm carrying, and one day we had 130 to vote on. Fortunately, we didn't get to all 130 of them, but that is one bill, and if it's the one I'm thinking about, it kind of mirrors some of what other states have done, where if they have a cell phone or whatever, they have a place to put them when they come to school. so that they can't use them in the classroom, but they can use them, when they go home or if there's an emergency or something like that. If that's the bill I'm thinking about, they can use them for that, bring a phone in for that particular, if there's an emergency or they need to get in touch with the parents for some reason. But yeah, just not being able to use it while they're in the classroom.
Thank you, sir.
I'd just like to say,
Yeah.
thank you to Mr. Powers, because anytime I've reached out, he's got back with me.
All right.
Because I sent him a few text messages about this closure bill for the virtual school, and he was promptly to respond back. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, anytime. I think everybody pretty well has my cell phone numbers. You can call me, you can text me or call me if you want. Did you have any?
I wanted to thank you also because you always get back to us and you always help us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also, I guess my concern as a board member right now is the virtual school bill.
Yes.
And one of the things that maybe Mr. Clay can speak to even better, or maybe somebody else on board or in the audience, I don't feel it's getting a fair representation in these committee meetings that I've been watching. I did write a letter. I did write a letter with help of some statistics from our central office, because they're comparing, and Mr. Clay, just jump in if you want, but they're using the TBOS metric and not the priority school metric, and it's unfair because, correct me if I'm wrong, the priority school metric is the one they use for public schools to close them, traditional public schools, brick and mortar, but they're proposing in Mark White's bill to use the TBOS growth metric to close us down. And so they're saying we're failing school, and Senator Powers kept saying that, failing school, but we are not on the priority list. And please correct me if any of that's wrong. So I feel that the legislators don't really understand what they're saying. We're failing school, but we're not on the priority list. And I did put that in the letter. I sent it to all the committee members. I made a few phone calls, but we don't always hear back from everyone. And so that's one concern I have. If I'm wrong with any of that, please, Mr. Pillay, correct me.
Okay.
It's very complicated, and I honestly don't feel like it's getting a fair representation. Even today on the Senate floor, it was so disheartening.
Yeah.
Because they were saying all kinds of things and making it look a certain way, and I was so disheartened because I don't think they even understood what they were voting for. That's my thought.
Okay. And thank you. I'm not on the education committee, but I thought they were using the priority school evaluation. I thought they were using that rather than the other method. And I would be glad to talk with them about that before it goes into the committee. I think it's going to come back up on the 24th, I believe you said.
Yes,
Right? Okay.
K-12, 9 o'clock on the
Okay.
24th.
Okay.
And the department would not close us down, so I understand. I've been talking to a lot of people about this. The department bill would not close us down, and they would use the priority school metric, which is fair because that's what all other schools go by. And even our students are more challenged in many cases with health issues, with all these other issues they have,
You're right.
perhaps mental health issues, perhaps bullying issues, all kinds of struggles. So, but we're not gonna go down that route of saying we need something special. We're just saying,
No.
please treat us like any other public school. And, yeah, and they're using a different metric that's evidently harder, I believe, right, Mr. Clay? Is it harder to score well on TBOS than it is on the priority school metric?
Well, they're both pretty difficult.
Okay.
But once you dig yourself in as a level one, a lot of times it's hard to get out of the hole. That's kind of where the virtual academy is at right now with being a level one.
Okay.
So that's my concern right now, my
Okay.
main concern.
And I'll be glad to check on that. I talked with Representative White today and actually talked to him on the way up here too, just to make sure. But yeah, he had filed that amendment to get a 3-year extension, but I'm gonna go back. He even talked about, and I'm not sure if he's gonna do this or not, they've been talked about separating that out of the other bill and just do the virtual schools separately. And then that way they could evaluate it better than to throw it in the mix with all the rest of them. But he talked about doing that too. So I'll find out before we go to the committee meeting on the 24th, but I will check with him again. But I think he was pretty confident that we were going to get the 3-year extension on looking at that. But I also talk about the method too, that we need to change it. And I agree with you.
Yeah, and the department bill, to my knowledge, doesn't use that metric. So he is using a different metric. And would the 3-year thing protect us then? If they did do a 3-year?
If it was priority, yes, because the TMDA is not a priority school. It is an ATSI again this year, but it's not priority. It has to go down another level to get to priority.
Okay, I will check with you, I'll follow back up with you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, for coming tonight. Really appreciate it. One question I do have is on House Bill 2365. It's the expansion of the Education Freedom Scholarship. How do you think that's going in the legislature?
I think it's going to pass because of the governor's bill, you know, the administration bill. And they crafted it last time and they're doing it the same way this time to where nobody will lose any money. You know, somebody disenrolls and goes to another school under the school choice program, that the school will not lose any money. And they're going to do that one that way too. It was set to go the way they did the original bill. They had 20,000 and that's statewide. And it went to, if they had all of those that were taken up, it was supposed to go to 25,000. His bill, my understanding is they're going to go to 40. So they're going to increase it 15,000 more because they had 57,000 applications. But it's probably going to pass because it's the governor's bill. So it will not harm, there's a no harm clause in there for public schools. So if you have anybody that disenrolls, you'll still get the same amount of money. And they'll actually put more money in there. They took more money out of and I hate to even say this, but go ahead, the gaming, they have a gaming law where they do an online gaming. And so they took 80% of all that money and put it in for any kind of capital projects that any of the schools have. And that ended up being, you know, it was somewhere right around about $500,000 per school. I think that was actually allocated, and that varies from school to school. But, so that will probably pass because of that, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
I had a question. Do you have the percentage, or do you have access to the percentage of students who are currently in private schools that took advantage of these funds versus kids that came from a public school into a private school? Do y'all have those figures?
You know, I don't. I can probably get those for you, but I don't have those figures right offhand. The way they looked at it, they did what they were doing. They were doing half of them, and it didn't really affect. I mean, they didn't penalize anybody if they came out of a private school and went back into one. They were doing half of them based on income, and they were looking at household income. So half of them were low income, and half of them were open to anyone. So anybody, even in a private school that was already there, could apply for one. But I don't have that figure about exactly how many did it. I know I was looking at Campbell County School, I think they lost about 30 people out of the whole school system of about 5,500 or whatever. About 30 people left and disenrolled and went and used the Freedom Scholarship. And it is a scholarship. I know they call it a voucher, but there is a little bit of difference. Voucher is just be a check for the tuition. Scholarship, you can use up to $7,300. That will increase to $7,500, I believe, under the new plan. So if a school costs $5,500, they have $2,000 that they can pay for computers, books, tutoring, transportation, or anything like that. But I will check on that. I'll get back with you, Jimmy, on that. Okay.
I've been listening to a lot of committee meetings, and I'm pretty sure we don't have those numbers. I'm pretty sure that there's not numbers, because there's been a few legislators trying to get those numbers. And I'm pretty sure those numbers are not there. And there's been even bills on that to try to get some numbers. If I'm not mistaken, I've been listening to a lot of meetings, and I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
There was one bill that came up in committee on that very thing, and that's what he was asking for, was to collect that data, and it failed in committee, so. To collect that data.
And I'm not sure why that would be hard to figure out. I mean, you know, it looked like that would be hard to attain. I mean, once they apply for it, you know, it'll usually have on there, you know, where the previous school is. So I don't know why that would be hard to obtain. So I will check into it and find out.
Anything else from Mr. Bowers? I appreciate you coming, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all for inviting me. I appreciate it. And I'll be glad to come anytime. And if I can ever be of help, you've got my number. And we'd love to have y'all come down. You do come down once a year, don't you, on a school board thing? You know when that is?
I've come down a few times, but I will say I'm considering trying to come down on the 24th.
Okay, all the school boards come down like once a year for a meeting, and I can't remember what the meeting's called, but
They have TSBA in the fall, but you guys are not in session.
we're not there then, yeah, and they come down this spring.
It's the day on the hill. The day on the hill.
Yeah, the day on the hill, that's what,
That's
yeah.
when the school boards would
Okay,
go
yeah.
down and meet with their
Is that in, end of this month or something, I believe?
I think it is,
Okay.
yeah, it's when you all are in
Okay.
session, so.
Sure, yeah. Well, if you get to come down, please come by and see me, and I get to chair one committee. I'm kind of up there like you all are. I have 12 people on my committee, so now I feel like I know how everybody feels when we're kind of down a little bit lower and we're talking to them like that. But I get to chair one committee. I'm on 5 others, and so I'm running from one thing to another. But I'll be glad to take time and meet with you all anytime you want to come down. So we'd be honored to have you. Thank you all for having me.
We will be down, some of us will be down next week.
Oh, okay, good.
We're going down
Is that the-
Wednesday.
Oh, okay. I will be there. So please call and let me know, and I'll be glad to make time. All right?
Also, I just want to say
Sure.
thank you for the communism bill, the recognition of the victims of
Thank you.
communism bill, and I think it passed, right?
It did,
Yeah,
yeah.
So
I
thank
took a
you.
lot of heat for that, and I thought that would be an easy one, but
Yeah, I thought it was great. I have a
Thank
degree in political science, and some of my teachers were
Yeah.
very much socialist, so I was very appreciative of the bill that you passed.
well, thank
So
you.
thank you for that. I did watch the meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the PLN update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Board. I have an update here, and we just talked about the major concern, which is House Bill 2420, that could potentially close our virtual school, which will be in committee on 3/24 on Tuesday. I've attached a letter that I wrote that I sent to the committee members. Also, this already passed the Senate, so we have pretty much one chance left, and that's the House. And I've been talking to TSBA about this as well, and they trying to get the most current information, and I've been watching the meetings. But it's of great concern because it very well is looking like we might get our virtual school closed down on Tuesday, and if not, then I could go to the Education Committee and another chance. So that's just something to be on our radar. And I put together a list here of bills. I highlighted Senator Powers' bill that did pass. And I think you all have seen the list of bills, so I won't read through them all. There's several of, I would say, concern, and then several that maybe are good. There's a few transportation bills I saw that I thought were interesting too. And we'll have to provide services 1.5 miles or less. I think the bill's on the second page here. If it passes, and then there's Senate Bill 1951, also deals with transportation. So I highlighted things that I thought were of interest to our district. There's several things that I think people will be happy to see, and I won't go through this list and take all of our time. But if you had any concerns, let me know. Any questions, trying to keep you all informed. And I did give you the names of the committee members last meeting, and I can certainly help if you need a phone number or something. I'll definitely give that to anyone who's interested if you have a concern. Or if as a board, if we wanted to look at this and speak out against one of these bills or for one of these bills, I'm happy to maybe we can take a few minutes if the board wants to, or if the board doesn't need that, that's fine too. But and then one correction on this as well, that the House Education Committees, they actually probably won't be closing next week. I just got that correction. So that is a correction. The Senate Education Committee is closed. So anything that hasn't gone through the Senate yet is dead. And then also to the meetings I put there, there's a training opportunity in Knoxville. TSBA is coming to Knoxville to do a board superintendent relations training. You can also do it virtually, but they're coming to Knoxville to do it. So I thought I'd mention that. And then also the fall district meetings, they reached out to our district and said that we were next on the list to host the fall district meetings. And I don't know exactly how we responded or if we responded on that, but I figured I'd mention that as well. So that's all my report unless anybody wants me to go over anything else on this list. And I also have some additional bills, the transportation ones on this list. There's 2 of them that have to do with transportation that I printed out after I'd done my report. So I have another list if anybody's interested of other bills that would affect us.
Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, the next item is discuss school trips.
There are 2 Union County High School 11 students to the HOSA State Convention in Chattanooga, March the 29th through April the 1st, sponsored by Stasha Brantley, Rachel Holmes, and Lindsay Sexton. And Paulette Elementary School 5 students to the Beta Nationals at Gaylord Opryland, June the 20th through the 22nd, sponsored by Summer Car.
Any questions on that? Okay, we'll move along to discuss contracts, the K-12.
This is not really a contract, but it has to do with the contract that, sent it around. Just an update on that while we're on, since we're on K-12. They sent another draft back. We're going through it right now. We've been going back and forth on that. What this is we're getting close to the 90-day window to notify those folks because the contract expires June 30. So 2 years ago, we went through the same process. Ms. Stackhouse drafted a letter. All I've done is revise this for now. We need to do the same thing because I got to get it sent to those folks by March 30, so we stay outside that 90 days to give them notice. And at the bottom of it, it says we'll continue negotiating. But I just want to make sure that we dot our i's and cross our t's, so that's why we need to approve this tonight.
You need that on the agenda.
I left it just under contracts to approve the contract.
Okay.
Well, is there much differences in negotiation from the second or the prior one to this one? I knew as far as like.
Well, there's a few things that they've asked for. We went back. Of course, some of the things that we're looking at is like how we what the sped and that kind of things. Of course, the percentage is always going to be the number that we're looking at. So how they classify those, but I don't foresee any problem to get a contract like we did 2 years ago when it went down to the wire. I think we'll have something worked out.
Mr. Clay, is there any way that we can get some kind of accountability on how the money's spent in this contract?
I don't think so, because they're a contractor. That's one of the things we'll find out next week at our hearing, because that's a lot of the questions will be based on his findings.
Another thing is their accountability, and I agree with you, Chairman Washington, about that as far as them reporting or giving an update to us possibly as a board. I think.
Oh, she would come anytime to give you an update as far as where they are.
I think that would be necessary moving forward, because that gives them accountability going forward with us. You know, us as a board, we only see the virtual school, but we do not see anything else out of it.
They, they come to my monthly meeting, the admin staff does, and we sit down with them every testing cycle to go through where they are, kind of thing. So it's something we already are doing, but we can have her come and give you guys an update also.
I think that would be great. Any more discussions? Jimmy, you got a ball game to go to, sir?
Yeah, you need to wrap it up.
Okay, the director's monthly report, budget, amendment transfers, Ms. Missy.
Good evening, everybody. And in answer to your question regarding the professional services, I was doing a little bit of reading while I was sitting there before I came up, and this is for Jimmy. I did see something in there that said possibly painting being part of a larger energy program could fall under professional services, but I would just like to state that calling something professional services, while it may be easier, may not get us the best price. So even with professional services, we offer RFQs, which are requests for qualification, even on a professional service, and we can sometimes get a better rate. And even if they're through tips, that just allows us to bypass the bid, but it doesn't mean that we wouldn't get some competition if we did do a bid. So just wanted to throw that out there, but I will check with CTAS specifically on that painting and get you a direct answer on that. But now moving on to the monthly reports, you should have 2 monthly reports in there this time because we did not have the reports.
Can I interrupt you?
Yes, you
Was
may.
you talking about bidding that out, or how was you?
Mhm.
We can't hardly
We can
hear you.
barely hear you. We're having a hard time.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, we can, even with the professional service, you can still bid that out even though you don't have to. And I said it might get you a more competitive price. The other thing is with a professional service, you can do an RFQ, which is a request for qualifications on a professional service. And that too would just give you some more routes that you could possibly go. But while yes, you don't have to bid professional services, there's nothing that says you can't. So I just wanted to throw
Thank
that
you.
out there.
I will ask more question to that, but with bidding that out, is there any additional cost as opposed to not?
Well, there's always the cost of the advertising no, I mean, there's no more cost to us other than just having to advertise it and my staff having to do the work. So,
Would you say minimal?
yeah, I would say minimal.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions regarding that? Okay, then you all should have two monthly reports in there, one for January and one for February. We did not have the reports at the last meeting to give you.
Actually, Missy, I only included this month because this month also includes January.
Okay, well then you'll see January's totals on the February report as well in the column right before February. So, but we did not have the trustees' reports in time to get those to you for last meeting, so. Any questions regarding the reports? We are running about on schedule for spend right now, so I didn't see any problems when I looked at them. If not, I'll move on to the budget amendments. We have 5 pages of budget amendments this time. We always do our mid-year cleanup at this time of year, any items that we need to address. So that's what the majority of these are. Pages 1 and 2 are Fund 141, the general purpose schools. This request is to move funds within the appropriated budget as needed and add funds received from other entities. Any questions on 141? Okay. The next page 3 is Fund 141 and Fund 177, and these two correspond to each other. And what these are is when we did the fund balance transfer at the beginning of the year, I gave you guys an amount, and when I got the actuals back from audit, which came like about 2 weeks ago, and I might add that the county had a perfect audit this year, so I'm very proud of that. But I wanted when we did to get the actuals though, we had a little bit more in fund balance than we needed to in 141. So I'm actually moving another 700,000 over into capital. So I know Greg liked that, so.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, and I've got an extra $776,000 in there.
Exactly, so.
Thank you, Missy.
You're welcome. Just to make sure we stay within our fund balance policy, I wanted to make sure we got that moved over before audit starts this year, which they already have, actually. They've been at my office all last week, so. So that's what that page is for. Then we've got pages 4, which is federal programs, Fund 142. At the top of the page is to request to enter additional allocation for the FY 26 Carl Perkins grant. And then the bottom of the page is to add in the ATSI 25 grant into our budget for this year. And then the final page is Fund 143, the central cafeteria. We were just fixing some lines that have overspent, and we were using the funds that were from the excess budget plan that we always have for each year on 143. Any questions?
And it's called the ATSI grant. Is that for, like core performance and get a grant?
It's the virtual care. That's the extra money they'll get, and it'll be used for next year, correct?
Yes. And it was 140,000 total, and it's the actual name of the grant is Additional Targeted Support and Improvement. So it's to help the kids catch up. And then Greg's already gone over the contract, and then the only thing I have left is the surplus for this month. And what we had was a storage trailer at the CTE that needed to be demolished and moved so that they can start work on their new building. So I'm just putting that on the surplus list to be demolished. So.
I didn't receive anything on that. I mean, it's on the agenda,
Greg had the letter. I can get you a copy of that.
but you need the board to approve that tonight.
Yes, we do need to approve the surplus. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Missy.
Do we have anything?
It was the metal trailer that Fugit had behind in the back. He stored all the scrap metal in. We had to move it out of the way in order to just build what I call the hay barn for CTE. Because the metal trailer, so they had to chop it up to get it out there. So we had to scrap it and demolish it. That's what it was. It was like an old tractor trailer that was just sitting in the back. Yeah. Yeah. It'd been there for a long time. Real eyesore, but now it's gone. Any questions on that? Okay, number 13, personnel update. I think you passed it out already. Everybody has one of those. Pretty short and sweet this month, thank goodness. Any questions on the handout?
I have one question. I'm noticing there was one retirement resignation from a sped teacher. Is that what is the bottom one there? And I know we passed my plan for the merit thing and they were included in that, but I feel like it's maybe something to talk about to make sure we are doing something to keep these people, to reward them for what they are doing. Is that a discussion we can still have? I'd like to still have it.
If the board so agrees, of course, it's a pleasure of the board.
Well, last meeting, the board decided to wait until we go through the budget to look at it for next year.
Okay, I remember that about my plan, but I didn't remember that about the sped teachers. But I just would say, I think we definitely need to be looking at that. Hearing, you know, their service is very valuable, and I think they need to be rewarded for it.
Mr. Clay, I think she's talking about the lady that, Darla's place, maybe?
I'm thinking, yes, I noticed we have a designation spec, yes.
Yeah, we replaced Darla at the middle school, but I was thinking it's on last of those things. If it wasn't, then that was something that was left off, it should have been on there. Because it was an in-county move. She came from Luttrell, a young lady that took the job.
And I think I've asked this in the past, but I would love to see just, you know, if we send out like a post-employment survey, it's like why they left, an exit interview, that's the word. I would, if the board so desires that, I personally would like to see that. I don't know if that would have to be a policy to do or.
I'll follow the HR, but anything that's non-certified, it's always paid. I mean, that's what I've been told, when I've asked the question.
Thank you for asking those questions. I'm glad. Thank you.
99%.
Any more questions?
I'd like to know how we get these new hires. Do we take applications for that?
We post it on our website, and then people turn in applications. Because for all these jobs, there were multiple applicants. And they go through the interview process typically with HR and the principal of the school.
I'm just curious.
Thank you, Harold. Any more questions? If not, we'll move on. Maintenance and capital project updates.
Let's do a real quick rundown of some things that have been going on. Of course, we've had ongoing issues with the Big Ridge, their large unit. It's running about 50% capacity right now. We've got a compressor on the way to fix all of those problems. Because that's what shut us down for a while. We got that fixed and the compressor went out after we got it fixed. So that should be fixed anytime. Of course, we had the leak at the central office. We're looking at some samples, either going back with carpet or some kind of hard surface to replace all that happened there. If you've been by that, you've noticed that our floor is kind of a lovely yellow glue color in the hallways and in Miss Mary and Miss Sheree offices and places like that. Poor John Smith, he got wiped out. He took out his wall and ceiling tile and everything else in his office. But anyway, the other thing came up just a second ago is the metal building at the high school. They've finished up the concrete work this week. They set the piers, poured the piers, and the building is scheduled to be delivered Monday, and it should be assembled by the end of the week, is what Mr. Shopper told me today. So those go up pretty quick. So that'll finish out a lot of those things. There's still a little bit left on that project. We're doing a new fence around the CTE lot, and then, there's some equipment that he was going to purchase out with the rest of those funds. And the greenhouse, I know it's been a long, drawn-out process. We can build TCAT building quicker than we can get a greenhouse put up. But that's supposed to start on the Monday also to get the new greenhouse put up. One thing we did do, we went out and got one of those temporary frames, plastic, you can put over it so it can have something for outdoors. They did a lot of stuff in Mr. Edwards' shop area there, because he has those growing lights in there now. But so we have something they can use for the spring season, but I don't think they'll be able to use it as much. So I'm kind of disappointed in that, because they were supposed to have that done almost a year ago. It kept getting drawn out. As far as the middle school goes, in your orange folders that you guys have, it has the cost sheet that I do every month on that. The other things in your orange folders is the budget information I was gonna give you guys on Monday, but since we postponed, I just want to give you those documents. The one thing I'd already sent to you all, but just some summary things to look over. So when we decide to meet and talk about that, you'll have some of these documents. So always bring your orange folder when we talk about budget. Put everything in your orange folder. So you'll have those. And let's see. As far as the middle school, of course, they're making a lot of progress right now. If you've been by, the media center, they've got structure still complete, roofing complete, metal framing of the library desk is ongoing. The boulevard and the gym are the two biggest areas to finish up and get closed in. The curtain wall has been installed on the south end of the building, so we're starting to close in where the end of that long hallway on the second floor. Once they get that, they'll take off. We've got the propane tanks are in place. They're supposed to gas those up either tomorrow or Monday, so they can turn on some heat in the wings, so they can start getting it environmentally friendly for flooring. So those things are ongoing there, and I guess the biggest piece left is getting the roof is on the gym, but getting the actual roof on it. It's got the metal in it right now. And if you've noticed, if you've been by and noticed it, it's got that opening around the whole top part of the gym. It's gonna have those translucent windows in there, so it'll give you light in the gym. It's gonna be beautiful when it's finished. So, any other questions about what's going on at the new middle school?
We're still on target for completion date.
Yeah. The only thing, like I brought up before, is the gym may be lagging behind as far as being open today when school opens. They'll be finishing up some fine tuning areas in there, but the rest of school is still on target to be open and operational. We did finish, I think I put this in notes, we had notes last week, it was on break. But anyway, the furniture, we've settled on those. I'm pretty sure that's been awarded. And as I talked to Blues Group today, the lady who's handling all that. So that's, I think, about an 6 to 8 week turnaround on getting the furniture in. So we'll stage it in the cafeteria as they start assembling and put it down in the classrooms. So all that's still on track. Any other questions, man? If you've not been by in a while, you need to go by. You need to come by and see. It's really taking off. Oh, yeah.
Any questions? Okay, we're moving right along, the library board.
Well, I guess I'll speak on this. Our chairman was not able to make it tonight. He just sent me a text and say that what I passed out is this booklet. This is from the Union County Library Board, and it talks about our data report for the libraries. Tells what we do for Luttrell, Minerville, and Sharp Chapel Book Station. And there was a discussion in our library board meeting about possibly if we could help and partner, if Union County Public Schools could help partner with the summer reading program maybe next year on helping maybe fund it, because basically what they do, you know, what we do in the public library and then the school system will intertwine, especially with reading. And as far as them early grade levels, but I wanted to present that to you all and let you look over the data and just kind of get familiar, because we're wanting to work with the school system.
When I was at the middle school, the librarian at Minor used to come over all the time and get the cards for the kids so they could use the library. I don't know if they still do that or not, do they?
They're still do that, and then I reckon with the elementary school, Minor Elementary, they still work with them. The summer reading, they're wanting to ask, I think, I'm not for sure on the number right now, I can bring it to you about possibly helping next year's summer reading program. They're wanting to expand it and do some new things, but we'll have the director come maybe in a future meeting and discuss that. But I just want to get this data in front of the board and then see what they think about that. But
It'd be good to tie that in also with Dr. Effer's book bus.
that's what I was wanting to
She's
know.
had tremendous success with that and getting books out to kids in the community.
But that's pretty much what all I have on that. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Sidney Jesse Jr. as the chairman of the library board, reach out to him, and then Tamika Chesney is our head librarian. You know, but that's all, but thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Any questions?
Currently, I'm seeing there's 2 grants that you have listed here. Is this all the funding that you receive, or is this?
That's 2 grants. We get, what page is that on? Okay, that's what we do. We operate off, the county gives us an allocation each year. And basically, it's a small budget. I mean, we do 2 libraries and 1 book station we fund. And really, and honestly, that's cutting it close because we have employees we pay, we part-time, full-time, as far as hours, keeping the hours open, and then providing programs and resources. But we do reach out to grants through, we're a member of the Clinch Powell libraries through the state, and they're also good help too, providing funding. But if you hadn't been to a location, please reach out and we'll do a tour one day with the Mineville Library, local library, and then the book station at Charles Chapel. Because, I mean, a lot of people don't realize what all resources they offer to the community.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay, item 16, discuss TSBA recommended board policy reviews.
These are the policies, they're due for approval on second reading. And true to nature, I always have at least one mistake, don't Mr. Washington. So I got it right on the workshop. They are due for approval on second reading, but on the actual agenda, it still says for first reading, but it needs to be approved on second reading on the actual agenda. These are just TSBA recommended policies that you all adopted on first reading last month, presented again. And a word about surplus, if I could go back to that. I always leave surplus on the agenda as a standing item just in case anything shows up. So yes, it's on the workshop agenda. And it is also on the board agenda as item number 6 to approve or disapprove items for surplus. I apologize for not uploading anything on your Chromebooks, but I wasn't aware we had it.
You said the meeting doesn't show policies as second reading, correct?
Correct. It still says approve on first reading.
My agenda says second reading.
Does it? Should it?
Yes.
Good. That is what it should be second.
Okay.
Mine says first, so.
And then for approval. Okay, so there is both of these are on here.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll need clarification on that.
That need to be a motion to amend.
I wouldn't think so, as long as when the motion's made, it's to approve on second reading.
Anything else on the policies? Okay, moving along, we'll discuss board retreat.
I'm not sure what Angela has shared or not shared, but we have moved to a location in the Powell area on Callahan. It's the Jubilee, whatever it is, I lost the name of it. Oh, there it is. The Jubilee Center. We do have a light breakfast provided and a lunch already provided there. They have a nice conference room. I think Ronnie and Angela have been there before. Sometimes I don't know if Dr. Carter's ever been in there. So it was close, but it's far enough away that we can sit down and have a discussion if we need to. Of course, the agenda, I think, is being revised. You said that the TSBA section of it will probably be more afternoon, and we'll have our strategic planning, budget discussions that morning. So that's kind of how the day will break up. So it starts at 8:30, and we'll have refreshments, coffee and stuff, and we'll have lunch around 11:30 or noon. Okay.
I know it was texted and it's in my notes, but can you remind me the date if you have it in front of you?
March 30
That's right, okay.
on Monday.
Thank you.
Any questions on that? Okay, next item, discuss teacher tenure.
You guys should have a list of folks who have met the scores as far as the 5s and 4s for 2 consecutive years that are eligible for tenure and been with us for a while. So basically, just have any questions on those? There's 2 that's on the list that are not eligible, but the rest of them are.
And can you?
You don't have?
Is it on that paper that you all have?
Right there it is. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry.
I have a quick, go ahead.
Can you tell me, is it 2 years?
Once they get to a certain point in length of time of being with us, they have to have 2 consecutive years of 4 or 5.
So once they make it to 3, right? Is it 3 or is it?
No, it has to be a 4 and a 5 to get approved for tenure.
Okay, and they have to have 2 consecutive years.
Mhm.
And if they fall off once, then they have to start over.
If they've got 2 consecutive years of 1s, once they reach tenure, then they can revert back to, not tenure, but they, wouldn't lose employment. But
Right, but they would just not.
they'd have to go through the process again to get to
Start
that.
over to.
And so far, I've not had anybody that's had that. I mean, we've had some 1s, but then the next year they might be a 3 or something. I've not had 2 consecutive years of 1s in the county so far.
I had a quick question, and this is just my idea of tenure and stuff. There's one person from TNBA, so that does fall under her scope.
She is actually our employee. She's the one that is our employee. And based on the way she qualified was, she chose things with their high school. And their high schools has had good scores, especially the freshman class. They've been level 3 in their ELCs or English 1, Algebra 1, and things like that. That was the criteria that she had chosen.
Can you remind me, LOE, is it the score they score based on their evaluations and on the student performance, right?
Yes, it's both.
So there is they're allowed to certain criteria, is that true for all of the teachers, or?
Well, in her case, she chose, since she's administrator, she chose a growth score. Everybody, if they're like, well, if you look at the first gentleman on there, his is tied strictly to his subject. He's an ELA teacher.
Have all these gone through the evaluation process?
Yes,
They've all been evaluated?
yes.
You have 2 that are not non-eligible. Do we work with them?
Yes, we do. I mean, it's just, this is probably the first time they are eligible to be up for it. I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think you've got like 7 years to get to that score before that you have to be let go.
Yeah, I noticed on one of them, she had a 4. Well, I guess it's a girl, I'm not sure. She had a 4 the first year, then a 3
Right.
the 5th year.
And if you notice, the gentleman on the first row, He had 2 consecutive years, then when he became eligible, he had a 3 that kept him from getting it last year. I mean,
Okay, could these 2 that are non-eligible, you can't next year, but this one that had the 4 and the 3, next year, could he make a 4 and be eligible? Or is it?
no, that's gonna be 2 years in a row.
Oh, it's in a row.
Yeah, that's gonna be 2 years in a row.
Mr. Plant,
Mm-hmm.
after tenure is granted, is there someone, a program, yearly to check that they are maintaining that level?
I would have to run the report on Team Compass.
I'm sorry,
I would have to run the report on Team Compass and check it myself.
is that something we're currently doing every year, is keeping up with the tenure teachers and their?
Well, I ran the report last year. I can't say to the first year that I came into the county, but I did it last year.
Okay.
And that's when, because that's how I knew that I didn't have anybody with 2 in a row.
And you're asking for all these people to be voted?
I'm giving you the list. It's up to you to decide if you want to grant. I don't have that authority.
I think, though, you were supposed to be recommending.
Yeah, this is the list I'm recommending.
Okay. So did you evaluate Tanya?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did her evaluation last year.
Okay.
Well, all the years I've been here.
That's a sticky wicket.
Huh?
It's hard to do that evaluation.
Yes,
On the
it's
model.
very, well, all those are hard at the administrative level. So they have a whole totally different rubric that they meet.
I have a quick question, but this is just me on this, about the TNBA. If something does happen and this law goes through and it ends, how do we grant tenure if it ends?
Well, from my understanding is if that job is eliminated, then she would be laid off, basically.
So it follows the job/contract, however that works.
She's a unique situation because she is our only employee with TNBA. But if the job is no longer there, and I don't have something that she would fit into that's open, then I would have to let her go. I have to let her out.
She could be reassigned.
She could be reassigned.
The way it is with all tenured teachers, if
Right.
you eliminate a position, then you have to give them an opportunity for other positions that open up that they are qualified for. She could be reassigned.
If I had anything available that her license would let her do. Or, I mean, she could be an administrator somewhere else too. Yep.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay, we're gonna have a 5-minute recess.
Can we do other real quick? I know we all need a 5-minute recess. But I'm assuming we're going to redo a date for the budget.
Yes.
My request is when we do that, can we separate out and have it and organize in a way where we can do salaries on one and then operational on another night, or just separate those?
I didn't have, well, this past month, I didn't have salaries with me, Ann and Missy, they hadn't finished those yet. I didn't have the salary scale.
So can we do the operational side separate from the
We
salary
could,
side?
that's up, I mean, that's up to you guys. Operational, the one sheet that I gave you in your orange folder, that's the operational cuts I'm recommending. Because we've not increased operations, well, starting my 4th year, the 3 years that I've been here, I've kept it pretty much flat. Because all the increases, it's affected the budget and then salaries. And the salary scale increases. That has been the biggest contributor to the budget increase. But that one sheet that you have in your folder, when you guys look at it, before we meet again, it is the things that I recommend and gave Missy to run the numbers on.
Well, that was my question, and maybe the board could elect to do it. It's really difficult to look at this entire budget and say, okay, we're going to discuss the entire budget. If it's broken down into salaries and then operational, it's a little more manageable. Because we're talking about, are we going to increase salaries, benefits, certified teachers, non-certified teachers, all those salaries. It gets overwhelming doing that with the operational side of the budget. So when we organize, we can do that. But I just wanted to make that suggestion because it is really difficult to look at the entire budget as one. Breaking it apart as salaries and benefits are, I mean, you can look at whatever salary increase you're going to do, but the operational side is totally a different beast.
Okay. Like I said, all I had ready for you was operational anyway. That's all you got in your folder.
Okay.
On rescheduling this meeting, have y'all, I mean, is it before we do the board retreat or after?
Board retreat is in a little over a week, so we can let that be the first one and go from there. If you wanted to get a kick off to look at operations that day, we could do that. Then we could come back and do something with salaries. So that gives Missy and Ann more time to get all that. I think Ann's got it pretty well finished though, doesn't she? Okay.
Forgive me if this has already been answered, but I would probably like to see all of it, like maybe look at one piece, but maybe have that information in front of us so we can kind of know as a whole while we're discussing operations. Did I
Yes.
contradict anything just
I
now?
wasn't saying necessarily break the entire budget apart, but concentrate on those pages on operational.
Yeah.
Rather than the entire budget discussion at the same
Because
time.
the big spreadsheet that you have in your folder is what the budget is right now. It's this year. If you look at that very first column, that's the budget amounts for each line. That's what's in there right now. The other spreadsheet I put in there is the things on operations side that I propose either to cut, or we have to increase, like insurances, like liability insurance, building insurance, all that kind of stuff will go up. And I increased utilities because we're gonna have a new school on, so that's gonna go up. And we can't turn off the other one, you still gotta have it on at least somewhat at the other school, otherwise you get all kinds of problems. But that's what's in that other one spreadsheet. Then the other spreadsheet that's in there is the summary of, this is how much testimony we got. It has some revenue pieces on there, like the ROTC, we get reimbursed for things like that. And it shows with TMBA, without TMBA, and at the very bottom, it gives you where we are. So when you look at that, that's how you've got two examples of that. I know that works. And on TMBA side, I put in the 8% in the equation piece, so you can see what that difference is. And below that, I've got a 10, a 12, 13, 14%, we went that route, what that money would look like, based on how much TMBA money they generated for next year. So when you looked at, that's what all that information is. But feel free to call or drop by anytime. Anything else?
Just say thank you.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
Yeah, and the
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I go by him when he says this, we're off.
Okay, we'll get started. If you all will stand. Mr. Collins, will you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Mr. Cook, will you lead us in prayer?
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with a heart full of thanks for all that you've done for us. Father, we ask that you would keep everyone safe in this facility, all the children and all the faculty, each and every one. We ask that you would shield them with your protective love. Lord, we thank you for the many blessings you've given us. Lord, the decisions we have to make, we ask that you would guide and direct us in the path that you would choose for us. Lord, forgive us our sins and shortcomings. Have mercy upon us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Do we have any public comments?
No.
Okay. Approve, disapprove the school trips and the agenda, consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve, disapprove budget amendments and transfers. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
It's a roll call.
Okay, it's roll call, I'm sorry.
Ms. Buck,
4.
Dr. Carter,
Four.
Mr. Collins, Mr. Cook,
Four.
Mr. Hamilton,
4.
Ms. Lot,
4.
and Mr. Washington.
4. Item number 6, approve or disapprove items for surplus.
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve or disapprove contract for K-12
the non-renewal letter.
Non-removal.
I make a motion that we approve the non-renewal letter for K-12.
Do I have a second?
I do a roll call.
Let's do a roll call on that one.
Okay, Ms. Bud,
4.
Dr. Carter,
Four.
Mr. Collins,
Four.
Mr. Cook,
Four.
Mr. Hamilton,
4.
Ms. Long,
4.
and Mr. Washington.
4. Item number 8, approve on the second reading, the TSBA recommended board policy revisions. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 9, approve or disapprove teacher tenure. Attached list. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next board workshop and meeting will be the 9th of April, 16th.
We need to move it to the 16th because of Missy having her financial things ready for us for budget. We discussed that last month. Not moving that.
Okay, we'll move that to the 16th.
And just a reminder, the board retreat is March 30th.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All in favor? Make a motion.